Okay, so you guys have your project guide. We are going to do a project and poster. Okay, so in this unit, we have looked at apps that solve problems. What apps have we used? What apps have we used?
Outfit Picker.
Outfit Picker. Okay, what else?
Friend Finder.
Friend Finder. Okay. What are the other ones? I'm trying to think. One of them had like 3 in it.
Movie.
Oh.
Movie.
It was what movie to watch?
Yeah. Movie Picker.
Okay. I can't remember what the other ones were. Okay, so they all solved a problem, okay? So. Whoops. Which one do you think, I'm not gonna say favorite, but which one do you think worked the best? Let me go back and look. Let's see, I know there were more. Hold on. Outfit Picker, Friend Finder, Choose a Kids Movie. Oh, here they are. We did a bunch. What is it?
Guess the number.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah. National parks. Guess the number.
National Parks.
How many countries?
What was that one?
How many countries had like what in it or something, I think?
Okay, how many countries? Fastest finger.
Yeah. And stamp notebook.
That one was kind of fun, but it didn't really solve a problem. Okay, so out of those apps, which do you think was the most effective? Like what one that you would use? Like, are you gonna use It's Your Birthday?
No.
Probably not. I would say probably
National parks.
you would use National Parks.
Yeah.
Friend Finder. Maybe Friend Finder. Like Snapchat's kind of like that because it tracks your location. Life 360. Okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do is you guys are gonna pick an app to design that is going to solve a problem. Okay. So what problems did our outfit picker help us find?
What outfit to wear for what the weather was?
What the weather was. What about Friend Finder?
Helps you find friends.
Movie.
What movie to watch?
And that one wasn't very accurate.
Yeah, no.
No. It's Your Birthday. That wasn't very accurate, was it?
Mm-mm.
No. Guess the number.
That one didn't solve anything.
No. National parks. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many countries? Is that more of a game?
Yeah.
Fastest fingers game, the stamp notebook didn't solve a problem, okay? So, what we're gonna do is, you're going to work with a partner, okay? So, you need to find, doesn't mean you have to touch them. You need to find a real world problem, okay? To brainstorm what? So, we're gonna look at this example first. Okay. So, they did where to go on vacation. Okay, so their choice was where to go on vacation. That's helping what?
People find out a place to go on a vacation.
Okay, so what data set it uses to make that recommendation? So in their app, these kids are saying they want what your favorite animals are, what your favorite superpower is, and what your favorite food is. So they're saying favorite food, animal, and what was that other one? Superhero?
Superpower.
Oh, superpower. I'm not sure about that one. So, okay, so how do you think the creators of the app decided on the algorithm that they used to make the choice? So why do you think that they picked those three things?
Animal for what area has what animals?
Okay.
For their food, what area or place they're going to has foods like that?
Okay.
Or is famous for that food?
Superpower.
I have no clue.
Well, and I'm thinking, so their answer is they used survey data from asking people where they wanted to go on vacation and other questions, then counted up the answers in the table, okay? So instead of superpower, I would maybe say, I personally would say superhero, because maybe you could, or like favorite character, because maybe somebody wants to go to Disney or Universal. I'm not sure about where they're going with the superpower one, okay? So if I picked Mexican food and tropical fish and my
Will Clark, please report to class. Will Clark, please report to class.
okay, so the superpower one, let's say, I don't know, can stay underwater forever. Where would you pick? If I said Mexican food, tropical fish, my superpower is I can stay underwater.
Southern Mexico.
Southern Mexico, there you go, okay? So you could come up with a couple different of those options and it would randomly pick, okay? So you could say Southern Mexico, where else? Maybe Bahamas, what else? One other one.
Guatemala.
Guatemala, okay? So, the first thing that you'll do then is define your problem. So remember, we define our problem, we're going to prepare, we're going to try and see if it works, and reflect, okay? So when we did the aluminum boats, what did we do? What did we define?
How many pennies could it be held in a boat?
How many pennies could be held in a boat, okay? You couldn't use anything but aluminum,
Oil.
your piece of aluminum, okay? You couldn't use tape or paper clips or anything to make it sturdy, right? So then how did you prepare?
Looked at images for reference.
Okay, so you Googled stuff to see what would work, okay? So then you tried the boat, your aluminum boat in the water and put pennies in it and saw how long it would float, right? So if your boat sank, you would then reflect and say, hey, I need to make this part of the boat stronger, okay? So in this situation, where to go on vacation, because it can be hard to decide, okay? So somebody who doesn't know where they want to go, okay, is going to input this information. So what possible recommendations should it choose from? They chose beach, a big city, national park, and an amusement park, okay? So they're gonna have to figure out what data we need in order, so now we're in prepare, what data do we need in order to make those decisions? So they chose what superpower people like. Okay, so they said superpower, flying, super strength, invisibility, teleport. What animals do people like? They picked wolf, dog, mouse, or whale. So they're giving you choices, okay? What food people like? Pizza, ice cream, sandwiches, and salad. So then they're going to try it. So, look at the kinds of data that you've decided you need to collect. Use them to create a survey question. So you're going to say, what's your favorite food? Their choices are sandwiches, ice cream, pizza, salad. What's your favorite superpower? Flying, invisibility, teleport, and super strength. And what's your favorite animal? Wolf, whale, mouse, dog. Where do you want to go on vacation? National park, big city, beach, or amusement park? Okay, so then for number 4, we are going to collect our data. So, yours is not as long, okay? But, so we're doing, they did all these different choices. So if they picked salad, flying, wolf, and national park, or sorry, if they picked salad, flying, and wolf, their preference would be national park. If they picked ice cream, teleport, and dog, not sure why, they would go to the beach, okay? Ice cream, flying, and whale, they'd also go to the beach, okay? Pizza, teleport, and mouse, they're going to the amusement park. Disneyland, mouse, okay? So then after that, we're going to interpret our data. So, question 1, what's your favorite food? Now they're taking a table and they're tallying up that data. So, the beach, if you like ice cream, that equals the beach. If you like pizza, okay, so they're doing these different tallies here, okay? So for your favorite food, for your favorite superpower, and favorite animal, okay? So then we're gonna look at our algorithm. This is our try, okay? So we have the question, what's your favorite food? So they put in, ice cream is my favorite food. So you add 2 points to the beach. You add 1 point to amusement. If they pick pizza, you add 1 point to amusement and 1 point to big city. They're doing this for each one. So each one, if it goes through ice cream, you're gonna add these points. If it goes through flying, you're gonna add another point. So your algorithm is gonna track that and then give you your answer. Okay? So then you're gonna try this out with your classmates and you're going to get your data. Okay? So they did these different answers here that your classmates answered for the questions, and then we're getting our tallies. Okay? Do users agree with the recommendations you made? So once you pick that, then you ask, is that what you would have picked? Okay? It could be yes or no. And then you need to say why. So then we're in this try stage. So if we do this and 9 out of 10 people say yes, this is where I would want to go, do you think you need to go through the process again? If it's 5 out of 10, do you think you need to go through the process again? Probably, okay? 7 out of 10, maybe, okay? So then what we're gonna do is we are going to make a poster, okay? The poster is going to be, I'll show you an example. This is an example that I think you can do better than this, okay? So their subject, the problem they were solving, the cure of homelessness, okay? So they're doing their input. They said you answered the questions with an honest opinion. Also, you might have to use some personal information, okay? So their process. So you're gonna your info will be processed to match the best job or home, okay? So basically what they're doing is having a homeless person put in some information, putting where they live, if they're living in temporary housing, what area they're in, their age, okay? So that information will be processed. So storage, remember when we talked about what in an app is going to be stored? What information is stored and what information does not need to be stored, okay? So it will store your personal information and some job recommendations. Then you're gonna get the output of a job or a place to live. They put the main idea in the middle, okay? Yours does not have to be circular, but I do want all these categories, okay, in it. So first we need to go through and we need to fill out this packet, okay? And then we will start our collecting your data in order to then make your poster, okay?